about speed down, gear down, and which gear to be in at the speeds that you're traveling. And I'm going to be using this. So this is basically a graph of like how your gears work, right? So you've got first gear, second gear, third gear. Does this go up to fifth? Yeah, okay, so you've got sixth gear in my car as well, but like, yeah, you get the point. So first gear's capabilities, yeah? So it starts off from 0. Please note that first gear is the only gear on the car that is designed to start from 0. None of the other gears start from 0. Okay, so gear 1 is to be started on a flat as standard. So that means that every time you stop at a traffic light, every time you stop at the side of the road, every time you stop in traffic, every time the car ceases movement and you need to pull away again, you need to change back to first because it is the strongest gear on the car. I call it the elephant gear because it's the strongest gear on the car, but it's really slow, right? So first gear is the strongest gear, sixth gear or fifth gear, if what range you've got on the car. I've got 6 gears, obviously this is only up to fifth, but fifth gear would be the weakest gear, like the granny gear, and gear 1 is like the Diet Coke man, right? That we all want on our lives. Right. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So we've got, so gear 1 is the strongest gear on the car, and it's got the capabilities to start from 0. And then if you absolutely ragged it, then it could go past 10 miles an hour. But in this time of lifting the speed up, it's going to then be that you can then go to the next gear. So you can't start second at 0. You need to travel in first gear for a while, and then you need to go up the staircase of gears, yeah? So you go first gear, travel a bit, and then when you get to a certain realm of the gear, then you're in second gear's capabilities, and second gear's, oi, second gear goes, oi, it's my job now, you can swap to me. Otherwise, if you continue using first, you're going to burn up all your fuel. Just to let you know, by the way, if you're starting down a hill, that's the only time that you can start in second. Say, for instance, you live on a hill facing downwards like this, you'd prepare the car in second, because what's the point in using first, yeah? The hill is going to be first. That's the only time that you can start off from 0 if you're on a downhill, right? Otherwise you start in first. So you're using first, and then you use it, and then you think, right, I've now got to a high enough speed to be able to change to second. Now I always say to my students, use the rev counter. When you get to 2,000 revs on your rev counter, which is the other circular dial on your dashboard, yeah, which most cars have these days, yeah. When you've got that rev counter and it goes to 2, that's your magical number for changing to the next gear. So when it gets to 2,000 revs, then you change to second. Then when it gets to 2,000 revs, you change to third. Then when you get to 2,000 revs, you change to fourth. Then when you get to 2,000 revs, you go to fifth. Then when you get to 2,000 revs, you go to sixth, right? You go up like that, all right? You can do it by speed, which is obviously what this is, but you can do it by the rev counter as well. I'm going to make a further point about this. This is why I've got this out in a minute. So you've got first, you build it up, then you're in second gear's realm, so you start using second. Now second is the only one that can start from this realm at about 7 miles an hour, something like that, and then you start using second. Second gear can be used from a fast walking pace. If you feel that you could walk along the side of your car and hold the car's metaphorical hand and walk with it and have a nice chat, that's second gear's rate, yeah? A proper walking pace. Sometimes when I'm on the motorway and I'm in slow moving traffic, I'll just have a really sneaky little look to the left to see if I feel that I'm at walking pace, and if I am, I'm going to stay in second. If you go down to a walking pace which is like pigeon stepping, which is like 1 foot in front of the other, like heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe, that's first gear's rate. That's below 3 miles an hour. We need first gear for that. But if you're stomping, if you're proper walking, yeah, like a walking pace, that's second gear rate. It's about 7 miles an hour, all right? So you go up to 7, then you swap to second gear. Then you start using second gear, and then if you went to its absolute limit, you're going to get up to, like, yeah, what does it say on here? Like, you could go further than that. You could probably go further than that. The car would be completely screaming, but it's healthy to change up at about, yeah, 22, and then you go to the next gear. Third gear is the last powerful gear that you've got. So it's really good. 1, 2, and 3 are your working gears. They're your power gears. They're your muscle gears to get things going, yeah? you're turning the wheel gears, you're difficult driving. I was going to say bad driving, but what I mean by that is difficult driving, where you're going to turn the wheel a lot and deal with hazards and stuff. 1, 2 and 3 are your working gears, your turning gears, your doing gears. 4, 5 and 6 are your cruising gears, where you would associate the roads to be longer, straighter, less hazards, and you're saving petrol with those higher gears, cruising gears 4, 5 and 6. So you can see what happens then when you start using third, and then when you get to a certain point you then swap to fourth, yeah, and then when you get to a certain speed you then swap to fifth, and then when you get to a certain speed you can swap to sixth, yeah. So you're constantly like building speed, going up, building speed, going up, building speed, going up, yeah. More speed, higher gear, yeah. So you do that. Now, the reason why I'm using this form today is because you need to know how to come down the speed as well. Now, we tend to go up the gears like a staircase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's unlikely that we're going to be skipping them out in a normal circumstance because we need the oomph, we need the muscle of those gears. It's not going to be any good for you to go first, fourth, you'd stall, because fourth gear is not powerful enough. Yeah, you can't go you can't go first and then into fourth, because the capability, you can't skip it out. The gear will be like, that's not my job. Yeah, it's just not my job. Like if you thought about all of the gears as people and they were stood in a line, they've all got their jobs. So first gear would be like, my capabilities are 0 to 8. And that's what I do, and I don't want to do anything else. And then you go up to second gear, and second gear would be like, my capabilities are from 5, and I'll stop working properly for you at like 27. Yeah, so they're all stood there, all geeky in their line, just going, these are my capabilities, and I'm not going to be doing anything else for you, right? So if you imagine them all being people, they're really strict about this as well. So say, for instance, you were in fifth and you were driving along down the road, then if you were to brake and you're starting to bring off speed, whatever speed you get to, say, for instance, you're in a long queue of traffic, yeah, or there's a queue of traffic coming up, I should say. So if you're driving in fifth and then you slow down because there's some traffic in front of you, and then the traffic then starts moving again. Say, for instance, you were braking in fifth, and then you got to this kind of realm, maybe, or maybe here, sorry, this kind of realm, you'd go clutch down third. So you would match the gear to the speed that you're doing, because that's the capabilities, that speed is the capabilities of that lower gear, yeah? Now, when you're driving around a town, you can think to yourself, well, I'm at walking pace, so I'm going to brake, I'm going to put the clutch down, and then I'm going to go to second because I'm walking pace. Or I've lost walking pace, I'm under 3 miles an hour, so I'm going to go to first gear. So you're matching the speed to the gear that you're in, yeah? If you try and use a gear that is not capable of the speed that you're going to be doing, the gear's just going to be like, no. So classic with a student is to be driving up to a parked car, right? So we'll be in fourth or third or something like that. And then the student's like, okay, I need to give way to the oncoming people. Clearly, that's it. So they're driving in fourth, they're coming up to the parked car, and they're like braking, 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 braking. And then they're not changing down, but they must, yeah? Because if you speed down, you're not at the same speed that you were, which means you're not in that realm of capabilities. You're leaving the capabilities of that gear. You must change down to suit the gear to the new speed that you're doing. So if you're braking, braking, braking up to a parked car, you're going to need to change down as well. And if you decide, ooh, I can go, yeah, so you're braking, braking, braking in fourth, and then maybe a car goes past you and you've gone really slow, speed down, gear down. If you're still walking, then you would swap from fourth to second to then be able to drive on. If you can't and you need to stop, you would go braking, 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 clutch down, I can't go, continue to brake, stop, then first gear to match the car to the new speed that you're in, or you're at, sorry, which is 0. And first gear can only start from 0. So speed down, gear down. You need to match the gear to the new speed that you're traveling. You can't just push the brake on its own and then not change down. Even if you're going to continue moving, the car will start to shake and it will be like, I'm supposed to be in another gear, man, like change me, like, because you're asking a gear to do another gear's job. So if you imagine that line of people, like in a line, like the 1 to 5, the 1 to 6 people, they're like, second gear would be like, it's my turn, but we're trying to use fourth at that realm. And the second gear would be like, it's my turn. But at the driver, you need to swap down to that gear. Yeah. So it's really important to like speed down and match down the gear to the speed that you're traveling. Now, I really hope that this helps, because this really shows, doesn't it? Yeah. First gear is only capable of starting from 0 unless you're on a hill downwards, yeah, which is extremely rare on a learner's test, so don't worry about it too much, yeah. And then each gear, like a staircase, you're building speed, going to the next one, building speed, going to the next one, building speed, going to the next one, building speed, going to the next one. And then when you're in a high gear, you'll probably brake loads, and then however much you brake, you then go to the gear that's suitable for that speed. So you can go 5, and then you can go 2. So you can block gear change down, 5 to 2, 5 to 3. That's called a block gear change. You do not have to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can, but that's old school, yeah? Our parents would have learnt like that. The older generation would have learnt like that, because the capabilities of the older cars could not swap gears and skip out gears, but the modern day engines can. Okay, so we can go 5 to 2, 4 to 2, 3 to 1, because all you have to do is match the speed to the new gear. And it's way more cheap, yeah, just to use your brake pads and your brakes to slow the car down, and then use the clutch once to change down to the lower gear. Because if you were going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3. I mean, how much work is that? I mean, come on. I mean, that's like so much work. Plus, you're using your clutch a million times more than somebody who would like block gear change. So you're overusing your clutch, you're overusing your gearbox, and those are very expensive. I had to change both of mine at the same time once, and it was £1,500. And that was a couple of years ago, a few years ago. So God knows how much it costs now. Those are expensive things. Changing your brake pads is probably about £60 to £80. That's better, isn't it? Let's rely on the brakes to slow us down, and then change down to the suitable gear that is necessary for the speed that you're traveling in. So very normal to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up the staircase, and then jump down to the one you want. So I always get my students to visualize a staircase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then if the staircase was padded enough, you could then jump down to the ones that you want, 5 to 4, 4 to 2, 4 to 1. You can jump all over the place as long as you're going downwards. Upwards, sometimes if the conditions are perfect, but on a learner test, no, we don't need to bother with any of that, yeah? Maybe if you're doing a ROSPA driving, like, then you could do 3rd, 5th, yeah? But you don't have to worry about that on a learner's test. You're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to be jumping down the gears using a graph like this. And you don't even have to worry about that too much, yeah? This is me just being really thorough for a YouTube video for you to watch and understand, yeah? Clearly, you don't have to worry about like learning this stuff like to a T. Just think about it as walking pace. You're going to be going from a high gear to a lower gear because there's a hazard, whether it's a roundabout, whether it's a turn, whether it's a complex junction, whether it's a traffic light. And all of those things is very likely in a town for you to need 1st or 2nd, right? Because that's what we always do in a town. We're going to lower the speed from a high gear, and then we're going to match it to either 2nd if it's clear 2nd gear, and that would be walking pace. So you're going to go 4 to 2. Or if you've stopped or very close to stopping, you're going to go to 1. So all you have to really do is make sure that you know whether you're at walking pace and you'll swap to 2nd, or whether you've stopped or near stopping, you go to 1st. All right. So another way that you can know about which gears to use is if you know about open and closed junctions. If a junction is closed, the likelihood of you using 1st gear is incredibly high because you can't see. Closed means you can't see. So if a junction is closed for any reason, bush, house, leaves on the trees, anything that prevents you from seeing, you're going to slow down and go down into first gear. So you would go from a fast gear, braking, 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 clutch down, first gear, which is the leap down to first gear, look at the junction, pull away, yeah? If it's open, if it's clear second gear, if you can see because it's open, then you're going to be changing down into second. Speed by braking from the higher gear, braking, 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 clutch down. You've got walking pace, you can see, down into second, off brake, off clutch to do the junction, right? So open and close, or you can simplify it, if I can even say it. Simplify it even more by just saying, is it easy or hard? Sometimes I do whole lessons with people and I'm like, is it easy or hard? If they don't like open and close, which some of my students don't like, I'll just say, is it easy or hard? And they go, ooh, can't see, hard. Okay, first gear. Is this turn easy or hard? Oh, it's really sharp, that's hard. Okay, first gear. The turn on the right, ooh, there's parked cars all over it, that's nasty. Okay, first gear, easy and hard. Then the opposite. Is it easy or hard? Oh, I can see everything. Oh, that's easy. Oh yeah, down into second, if it's clear second gear. Is the turning on the left easy or hard? Oh, well the turn is very curvy. That's easy. Okay, great. Second gear, easy and hard. So if you don't like the terminology of open and closed, don't worry about it. Just class everything as easy and hard, yeah? If it's hard, first gear. If it's easy, if it's clear, second gear. All right, guys? So I hope that this little video helps you. And the main point of it is speed down, gear down. Once you've gone down speed, you need to gear down. You cannot expect the gear that you're in, if you've been driving fast, to then be able to cope at a lower speed. It's not its job. The gear's just going to go, this isn't my job. And you're going to stall. And it's just going to be like, it will just hold its hands up at you and just go, that's not my job. That's second gear's job. And it will just go like that. I'm not helping you. And then you'll stall, you'll judder, you'll shake. Yeah, it will all start going wrong. One of my doctor students says, when it shakes, it's like her patient being ill. So she gives the patient paracetamol. So she always said, putting the clutch down is like giving the car paracetamol if it's coughing, shaking. Yeah. So if she ever overbroke in the wrong gear and it started shaking, she'd go clutch down, which is the only way to save it at that point because it's gone too far. There's nothing you can do. If a car is shaking, you can't accelerate out of that. That has gone too fast. The gear gives up on you, yeah? So if you've broke down from fourth and you've gone down into like second gear's realm, you can't accelerate out of it. The gear's already given up on you. The only way to save that is put the clutch down. Give the car paracetamol, as my doctor student said. That's the only way to heal it. And then you change down. So hopefully we can get it before it shakes, but that certainly would be a reference point. If you're braking and the car starts shaking, get that clutch down pronto because you're about to stall. Yes, that may happen to you on a roundabout. Yes, that may happen to you on a turn. And yes, I am saying that you'd need to put a coast in because it's the lesser of the two evils. If you're in a roundabout and it's shaking, yeah, I'm telling you to put in a necessary coast there because otherwise you're stalling inside that roundabout. You may as well put a clutch down, coast, yeah, for a little tiny bit to save yourself from stalling in front of absolutely everyone. Quickly change down to a more powerful gear, yeah, and then you can then pull away from the danger. Hopefully we can get to that before that happens because that really has gone too far. All right, guys, I really hope that this video makes sense. And yeah, happy driving. See you on the next one.